It's funny how at one time I thought I couldn't live without these streets, you know? I mean, as far as artistically, but I did it, you know? And once you do it, you can't go back and do it over again. Any photographers who have gone back, like Bruce Davidson did East 100th Street, he went back. You can't go back, you know, the passion's gone. You know, the place has changed, you're older, and it's not like in painting or maybe sculpture where it's all about your experiences, okay? This is partially about your experiences, okay? But the place visually has changed, okay? So at least you have to come up with something completely different. You can't work a similar way as you worked in the past. It's just not gonna, I don't think it's possible. I mean, someone may be able to do it, but it would be very, very hard. And I don't think, it's like I was listening the other day to Channel 2, Sunday morning, Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger, they asked him, are you gonna write a memoir? He said, no. He says, I look ahead. And I feel a little funny doing this because this is looking back. What am I gaining? I'm not gaining much. I know what's here, you know? I left this behind. Thank you. It's been great. You gave me 40 years of my life, something to do. But, you know, now times have changed. This area has become sort of like a Disneyland, okay? When I started here in the mid-70s, we're coming up to 42nd Street, quite a dangerous street. You had a lot of not very nice people on 42nd Street. There was a lot of drug dealing, a lot of homelessness. You know, you could have a problem, okay? And I didn't really like photographing on 42nd Street that often, but I did occasionally because I wasn't really into talking to the people. Talk, then you open up venues where you can work. But it was tough. Now it's, like I said, Disneyland. It's lost all its allure. And you used to have all the sex shops on 8th Avenue. You know, once in a while I went in and you'd watch these things go, pretty funny. I saw some funny things, you know. I won't get into a little lurid and lewd, but you know, that was the area. Now it's all cleaned up. Look, it's for families to come here from all over. That's what's sad about the world. You know, things are changing. Everyone's becoming similar. It's maybe better, but I don't think it's more interesting. We're actually walking in October. You know, September and October are my two favorite months. I was born in October. I just like, it's like invigorating. It's you know, the year doesn't start January 1st. It starts after Labor Day. You know, the new shows come on, museum. It's like a cleansing. But the same shit goes on anyway. The same people get the shows, the same type of shows, you know. People don't have courage. Let's go. And it's too bad because when you have courage, that's when you do good things, okay? When you don't have courage, you do the same old shit. Guy has a great hat. He's rooting for the wrong team, Rutgers, but you know, he's got a good hat. Let's go. But that's, now you see how my mind works, okay? The people I photograph, they're all in my movie. I'm the director. And the people in my photographs aren't really those people. They're symbols for what I see. Because to me, it's all about movies. It's about scenes, scenarios. Wow, it has changed. It used to be so seedy and interesting, you know, and you wanted to photograph. Look down the street. Who would want to photograph this? Look at this. I mean, look at the backgrounds, forgetting the people. I mean, I'm sure you can find some interesting people anywhere, you know? Because even, you know, I can't romanticize that. Even when I was here, how many people were interesting to photograph, okay? There aren't that many anywhere. Like people think, you know, that the people I photograph are falling out of the trees, you know, wow, they're everywhere, you know. No, it's not true. I could go to, let's just say, tough guys, right? I could see 200 tough guys. I may only want to photograph 2. Same thing with faces. I go to the state fair in Minneapolis, 200,000 people, I took 6 pictures that day. And believe me, I was looking. And the 6 pictures aren't all good, but I'm very critical. And I think to be good, you have to be critical. Wow. You know, just some people like this, some people like that. It's hard to make a good photograph no matter what your interests are. And I think I have the capacity, because I'm so visual, to see good pictures that are done by people who do landscapes that are completely different kind of work than I do. But if, excuse me, if you do my kind of work, you better do it really well, because I know what's hard, I know what's easy, and I know what's real. That's the thing, what is real? I mean, most people don't see that, okay? And they want to see a facade, okay? I want to show you something so this way you know, because people aren't observant, most people. You know that people aren't left behind, they're invisible. I'm putting in front of you people that some of the people should be helped. You know they exist, they're there. And I think that's the most important thing. And my style evolved, and that's what it's like, you know? What can I say? All right, let's go on. Let's go. We got 8 seconds to cross the street. Crossing the street is like taking photographs. You got to keep going. You can't stop. Now we're going into what used to be the Garment Center. Well, my father told me a very interesting story. We never talked about his life, but I remember he told me that if you didn't want to join the union, I guess in the 30s, they would ask you, and if you didn't want to join, someone would come up and throw a stink bomb in your place. That means you had to rip out all the walls and everything. That's the kind of bedtime stories I heard, okay. Even this area is not the same. When I started photographing here in the mid-70s, you had all these guys. My father would threaten when I was a kid. You don't go to school, you don't do well, you'll push a rack here full with clothes in the garment set. They said I'd get you a job very easily. And you had all these guys pushing racks of clothes. And you would have people on the sidewalk here, I have a picture of that, all the old, and I say mostly Italian tailors. They would be out here smoking their cigars and their hats, you know, lunchtime. It had a lot of color. Look at this. Now it's mostly tourists here and some people who work here. This picture was taken on 6th Avenue. I don't know if it's this street. We're between 37th and 38th. But it was on this side of the street, the west side of the street. And to me, I saw the couple and I saw the 2 gentlemen. And to me, the shadow here looks like 2 figures on a bridal cake, and that's the bridge that connects this to all of this, okay? Boom, 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 which is quite necessary. And to me, it's a comment on male-female relationships. The guy has his eyes closed and it's like saying, ooh, they're very tough, okay? But the thing is, someone pointed out to me, because I don't like to look at my photographs too closely, because I got to look at them for a lifetime, at least my lifetime, and he pointed out that guy's probably blind, and he's right, because he has his arm and the other guys, they have their arms together. Yeah, but still, that's my story. Now we're getting into the real shit, man. Getting me hot. I'm getting tired and walking. I'm getting hungry. I'm like in the fucking desert. 34th Street between 5th and 6th, I hit the desert. My knee's starting to hurt. It's called getting old, baby.